Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Strong Men with Jared Whitaker. So this will be the same series where I'm introducing support networks and support organizations to guys who really need to know what's out there. And I'm joined today by Mike from Falsely Accused Network. Mike, thanks for joining.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yep, welcome. So Mike, really simple. I mean, this is really easy. The floor is yours. So tell everyone what Falsely Accused Network is, why you started, and what you do.
Right. So what False Accused Network is, we are a national helpline stroke support service for anyone, that's men and women, who have been falsely accused of domestic abuse. So how it works is we have a helpline, which will most of the time will come through to me. Could be I do have a couple of volunteers that do the occasional phone call, but about 99% of the calls I do. And it's your chance, if you've been falsely accused of domestic abuse, to actually speak to somebody else who's been through it. We go through everything that's been going on. So I like to talk about not just the allegations, but I even like to go a bit earlier than that to talk about the relationship. Because what I found, Jared, is that whereas most of my phone calls do come from men, it's about 95%, a lot of men, a high percentage of those men don't actually realise that they were a victim of domestic abuse themselves.
Yep.
And I help them identify that. A lot of men genuinely don't realise. They just don't understand what's been going on and what have you. So we go through everything. And then I have a 3-point strategy to help anybody who's been falsely accused of domestic abuse. So number one, it's really important, and I can't stress this, is to get legal assistance. Now, I always say to people, look, if you can afford a solicitor, I do recommend them. They do a fantastic job, and it makes your life a lot easier. And they can advocate for you in court, and they know what's going on. However, a lot of people cannot afford a solicitor. So I know, and I build up a network now of paralegal Mackenzie friends who have some legal background, who can help you with your family law case and come into court with you and assist you. But obviously, because they're not a solicitor or a barrister, they're not allowed to actually speak on your behalf, except in exceptional circumstances it can be done. So if you ring me and you need some legal assistance, I can find somebody that can help you. The next thing we do is a lot of guys are suffering mentally, and women that ring me up as well, with the ordeal of what they're missing, they're missing the children, they've been falsely accused. It causes a lot of mental distress. So I do know I've got 2 very, very good qualified and insured therapists that I can refer people to. They're both male-friendly, it's one man, it's one woman, both male-friendly therapists who do a fantastic job, a pair of them do. And that is always an option for you if you needed it. But I think the real magic comes, Gerard, is our support group. We have a private, secure support group, which has got its own forum. It's got a little bit of a group chat. And we have Zoom meetings 2 a week. And we have guest speakers on as well once a month. So like this month, I've actually got 2 guest speakers in July this month. We've got a lady coming tonight who was alienated against her children as a female victim. So we know most of the time it's men, but this lady's coming along tonight. Her name's Andrea from Parents Against Parental Alienation. And we've got our legal sponsor, who's a family law solicitor who does some regular Q&A sessions with everybody. And at the other meetings that we have, which the vast majority are the guys who have been falsely accused, and he's had a chance to have a chat, see how things are, give them some tips and advice on how to cope. And we do have some of the paralegals there as well. So they've got a quick legal question about their case, or even in general, they get the support that way.
Yeah. And I think it's really important obviously I talk on behalf of men. So I think it's really important for men and women as well, but just to have that network of people who are going through similar things, understand what's happening. Some people are further ahead on their journey, so I can give you guidance on what they've been through. Some are behind and you can help them. And it's just really about, everyone pulling each other along. And I know you guys do a great job with that. So that's great.
Yeah.
Something I wanted to touch on just before we moved on is, it's more the definition of false accusations, because I've been speaking to a lot of people lately, and they think false accusations is you're sitting at home watching TV, the police knock on your door and say, or you're under arrest for abuse or whatever the case is. And that could be one aspect of it. But what I think a lot of people don't realize is you could be in the middle of a divorce and it could literally be amicable up to that point. You go into court one day and suddenly these accusations are in the court bundle from your ex-partner. So accusations aren't necessarily the police knocking your door down. It could literally just
Yep.
come out of nowhere. And people maybe
Oh
don't.
yeah, I mean, the most common trigger for false allegations against a man in a domestic setting is if the woman's had an affair.
Yeah.
And she's been caught or challenged. I've had a pound for every time I heard that when a man says to me, "Oh, I found out my wife was having an affair and I challenged her," and then the next thing I knew the police were at the door. But you are right, building on what you're saying. Not just the police, it can come through. They can make false allegations to the GP. They can make false allegations to social services, and in a lot of those cases, Gerard, the man doesn't even know it's happened to them. It just goes on a little record somewhere. It's like recorded, and then sort of this. Another very common one is when, let's say, a couple split up and the mother's withholding children. He puts an application in, and then that starts it. The second an application in, she's got to come up with a reason to justify, and she thinks, "Oh, I know I've been abused," and that's it. And it's false, and that's where we go. And it sets off. Once they've told that lie, it's very hard to take it back.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to spoil upcoming content from my book, because my current book I'm writing is obviously about false accusations, but I've seen examples coming through from the people I'm interviewing, where literally the mother wants to take the children on holiday and the father says, "No, you can't take them out of the country because it's my weekend." And suddenly a false accusation of something comes through that he's temporarily removed from the picture. They go on holiday, come back, charges drop. I mean, it's shocking.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's when I started this, which was May last year, I don't think I really realised how big this problem was. It's huge.
Yeah.
Huge, massive problem. And that's why organisations like False Accused Network has to continue, because there's very little support out there for men going through this.
Yeah.
But I always stress, I will help women as well. I get women ring up, no one's turned away.
Yeah.
Can I show you?
Yeah, and I think, like you said, it's probably the majority of cases are men coming through, but I know you guys are there to help anyone, and like you've got the male and female experts to help people. So if people do want to get hold of you and they want to, join the group, they want to get some help from you, how do they get in touch with you?
So get in touch. You go to my website, which is www.falselyaccusednetwork.co.uk. There's a contact page. There'll be a little form. You put your name, email, phone number, and a little small sort of couple of paragraphs about what's been going on. I'll get in contact with you. Then I will arrange a phone call with you. I like to speak to people personally. And then we take it from there. But I can assure anybody who's watching this, you're not alone. If you've been falsely accused of domestic abuse, it is very common. It's a lot more common than people like to admit. You're not alone, and you're not going mad. You might think you're going mad and trying to, oh my God, why is this happening? And you're not going mad either. And you will be supported.
Yeah, I think something you just said there, I'd like to just jump on, is that going mad thing that often I think, and talking from my own personal experience, you can be gaslit so much during your relationship that you actually can end up believing false accusations against yourself, thinking, "Oh my God, did I do this?" And meanwhile, it never actually happened, and they're toying with your brain and your mental health. So yeah, it's really bad.
I think a big thing, just to touch on that, Gerard, is that I think a lot of people, when they go through that or an abusive relationship, is they're trying to understand why it's happening, trying to analyze it. Why is she doing this? Why is she making false allegations about me? And I say to people, don't focus on the why, because that is what's sending you a bit.
Yeah.
It's about understanding what this false accuser is that she's dangerous to your existence. Get away and get help.
Yeah, absolutely. I know I spent many hours trying to figure out why. And when you make peace with the fact that it's who they are and they're a narcissist, and don't worry about it, let's just deal with the problems in court and however else we need to deal with it. It's a lot simpler life.
Yeah,
Yep.
definitely.
Well, brilliant. Thank you so much, Mike. I'll put all of this,
You're welcome.
all your contact details and all of the links will be in the description of the video, so anyone can get hold of them. They're really good. I can say that I've spoken to Mike before. Really good service. So, get hold of them if you need. I think there's a lot of people who could do with this kind of help. A lot of people who don't know they could do with this kind of help, and a lot of guys out there who, let's break the stigma down with them, because I know that a lot of them are probably like I was in the past, where they don't want to reach out for help, they don't want to admit they got a problem, but you know what? There's a lot of us out there that this has happened to, and a lot of people it is happening to. So there's no shame, there's no embarrassment. Just reach out and have a chat. Yep.
Definitely.
Well, brilliant. Thank you, Mike, and really keep up the good work.
Thank you. And you keep up your good work too with those books.
Cheers. Thanks.
They're amazing.